Behind every winning pigeon lies a secret that is so closely guarded, even top fanciers rarely share it. Surprisingly, this secret lies in plain sight, hidden within a feeding system every fancier follows and swears by. Today, we uncover the secret feeding method that's guaranteed to produce unbeatable birds. Once you see it, you will never look at pigeon feeding the same way again. Feeding looks simple: scoop, mix, serve. But ask any top fancier and they will tell you that feeding is not about giving food. It is about timing, purpose, and precision. Every handful of grain is a message to the pigeon's body, telling it when to rest, when to build muscle, when to store energy, and when to explode into speed. That is why two lofts can feed the same mix, yet one wins races while the other struggles. It is not what they feed, it is how and when they feed it. Think about it this way: a pigeon does not run on emotions only, it runs on fuel. Each flight, each training toss, each race is a test of how well the body converts feed into endurance. You can see it in the feathers, in the eyes, and in the way a bird lands. A well-fed pigeon finishes a flight with fire still in the wing. A poorly fed one looks flat, its body drained before the finish. That difference starts days before the basket ever opens. Champion fanciers treat the feed table like a strategy board. They know when to push energy, when to lighten the mix, when to flush out toxins, and when to build muscle again. They do not just pour grain into a trough. They feed with a plan built around the calendar, the weather, and the pigeon's natural rhythm. Feeding is training that happens in the home. The secret begins with observation. A champion fancier watches the droppings, the weight, and even how a pigeon walks on the plank. These small details speak louder than any label on a bag. A bird that sits still too long might be overfed. One that picks and leaves some grains might be telling you the mix is wrong. The feed bowl is a conversation. If you listen closely, you know when to adjust. Now, here is something most beginners get wrong. They think feeding is about giving more energy, more fat, more protein. But the truth is, overfeeding kills performance faster than underfeeding. A pigeon that is too heavy cannot cut the wind. It loses sharpness. The best racers are lean, tight, and balanced. The job of the feed is to support that balance. It is not about giving them everything. It is about giving them exactly what they need, when they need it. During training periods, champion fanciers keep the mix light. They build conditions slowly, using carbohydrates for fuel and a touch of protein for muscle repair. Maize, barley, and wheat form the base. Peas and beans are kept minimal, just enough to support recovery. The birds learn discipline. They fly hungry, they train hard, and their bodies adapt to efficiency. It is like building an athlete from the inside out. Then comes the build-up to race day. This is where timing separates the experts from the rest. 3 days before basketing, the feed begins to change. Energy grains like maize, hemp seed, and sunflower are introduced gradually. Fat content rises because fat is the fuel of distance. The goal is to fill the bird's internal tank without overloading it. You are not feeding for today, you are feeding for the next flight. A pigeon that leaves home feeling light and alert is the one that finds its way fastest. Hydration is another silent key. Many overlook it. Champion fanciers make sure water is always clean and balanced. They add electrolytes after hard training, apple cider vinegar to control bacteria, and sometimes glucose for quick recovery. The water is more than hydration. It is how the bird resets its system. Every sip rebuilds what the last flight took away. Neglect it and no feed will save your pigeon from fatigue. Once the race is over, everything changes again. The body is tired, the muscles are sore, and the energy stores are empty. This is when recovery feeding begins. A rich mix is used, full of peas, vetch, and beans to rebuild strength. Protein first, energy later. A good fancier feeds lightly after the race, lets the bird rest, then increases gradually over the next 2 days. Recovery is not about flooding the pigeon with food. It is about restoring balance step by step. And then there is grit and minerals. They may look small, but they are the backbone of health. Without calcium, iron, and trace salts, feathers lose their shine, eggshells weaken, and digestion slows. Champion fanciers always provide fresh grit, not stale or dusty. They know that even the best grain is useless if the body cannot process it. A strong digestive system means a stronger race team. Every feed program lives or dies by routine. Birds love order. Feed at the same time every day, and they will learn the rhythm. They start to expect it, and their metabolism adjusts. Break that rhythm, and you disrupt everything: their digestion, their mood, even their confidence. The most successful lofts feed like clockwork. No surprises, no missed meals. Consistency builds trust, and trust builds form. But here is the part that truly separates champions. They do not just feed the body, they feed the mind. A pigeon that feels secure eats better, trains harder, and flies stronger. That is why top fanciers keep their lofts calm. No shouting, no panic. Feeding time is peaceful. The birds associate the feed with safety, not fear. A calm pigeon digests better, rests better, and races better. It is the unseen advantage. You might wonder, do all champions feed the same way? Not exactly. Some swear by heavy mixes, others by light ones. Some add supplements, others stick to natural seeds. But look closer, and you will find one shared principle. Every grain serves a purpose. There is no random handful. Every feed is tested, observed, and adjusted based on results. Champions do not guess, they measure. Supplements have become another modern secret. Oils rich in omega fats are used to boost feather quality. Brewer's yeast adds vitamins and supports digestion. Garlic keeps the blood clean. Grits with charcoal help detoxify the gut. Yet champions know these are helpers, not replacements. The base feed must always be right first. Supplements are the finishing touch, not the foundation. Another hidden detail is timing before basketing. Feed too heavy the night before, and your pigeons fly sluggish. Feed too light, and they lack stamina. Experienced fanciers find the balance through practice. They know their birds like they know their own children. They can tell by a pigeon's eye, weight, and behavior whether it is ready or not. This intuition comes only through years of watching, failing, adjusting, and learning again. One more thing champions do differently: they never feed out of habit. Every season brings new challenges. Weather changes, distance changes, the grain quality changes. What worked in one race might not work in another. Feeding is a living system, not a fixed recipe. That is why champions always test small changes. They try new grains, new oils, and new timing methods, but they track everything. If something works, it becomes part of the routine. If not, it is dropped immediately. There is also the question of hunger. Great fanciers understand that controlled hunger builds discipline. A pigeon that always eats until it cannot move becomes lazy, but one that eats to satisfaction, not excess, stays sharp. Hunger keeps them eager to fly. It teaches them to value the feed, to return home faster because they know what awaits them. Feeding is not kindness, it is strategy disguised as care. Watch how a champion feeds. They never rush. They stand quietly, eyes moving from bird to bird, reading each one. Some pigeons eat with calm confidence, others peck nervously. Each reaction tells a story. The fancier adjusts the amount based on that moment. Too much food left behind means too heavy. Empty troughs too fast mean too light. It is a dance between intuition and precision. So the next time you step into your feed room, think like a champion. Do not just pour grain. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself what the bird needs today, not yesterday. Watch, learn, adjust. Because in the end, feeding is not a chore. It is an art form built on patience, understanding, and respect for the bird. And when your pigeons finally clock first, smooth and fast, remember this: that victory did not start in the sky. It started right here in the feed bowl, in the quiet moments when you learned to listen.